You keep waiting to feel ready, but you were never meant to wait. There's a part of you that already knows this, the part of you that feels the pull to speak, feels the pull to show up, feels the pull to lead. And yet you hesitate, not because you're not capable, but because stepping into that version of you changes everything. So instead, you tell yourself, I just need more time. I just need more healing. I just need to feel more confident first. But that's not truth. That's delay. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Cherry. I'm a spiritual life coach, numerologist, and energy alchemist. And the work I do is about guiding you back to what you already know, but haven't fully claimed yet. Because this isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you already are and having the courage to stand in it. In this video, we're going deeper into what it means to lead, not from force, not from performance, but from truth. Because leadership isn't something you earn, it's something you decide. Before we go deeper, if you can feel this already landing in your body, make sure you hit subscribe and tap the notification bell. Because this space isn't just information, it's a place where you remember. And then you rise. So take a breath with me, because we're not rushing this. You've been taught to believe that leadership is something you grow into over time, that one day you'll feel ready, that one day you'll feel confident enough, that one day you'll finally stop second guessing yourself. But that day doesn't come, because readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. And the longer you wait to feel ready, the longer you stay in a version of yourself that already feels too small. You know this. You feel it when you hold something back. You don't say what you really think. You see someone else doing what you know you're capable of. That quiet frustration. That's not jealousy. That's recognition. You're not behind. You're not unprepared. You're just not choosing it yet. And that's where everything shifts. There's something I want you to really feel into. You already know, not intellectually, not because someone told you, but in that quiet, undeniable way that doesn't go away. The part of you that knows what you want to say, knows how you want to show up, knows the levels they're capable of. That part isn't confused. It's not unsure. It's just not being followed. Because every time that truth comes up, something else steps in. Something that sounds like, not yet, you're not ready. You need to figure this out first. And you listen to that voice because it feels safer. But that voice, that's not your truth. That's your conditioning. That's the part of you that learned it's better to stay small than risk being seen. So now every time your truth rises, it gets met with hesitation. And over time, you start to trust the hesitation more than you trust yourself. But here's the truth you need to hear now. You don't need more clarity. You need to trust what's already there, because the version of you who leads isn't waiting for permission. She's already speaking. You're just not acting on it yet. And that gap between what you know and what you do, that's where your power is being lost. Not because you don't have it, but because you keep overriding it. So instead of asking, what should I do? The real question is, why am I not doing what I already know? Because that's where the shift happens. Not in learning more, but in following through on what's already true. And this is where your Energy Body 7 comes in, because this isn't just about knowing, it's about being felt. So let's bring this into your Energy Body 7, your aura self, because what you need to understand is this. Leadership is not just heard, it's felt. Before you say anything, before you explain anything, before you try to get it right, people feel your presence. They feel your certainty, your hesitation, your truth, or you're holding back. That's your aura. That's your Energy Body 7. And here's the shift. When you follow your truth, your aura expands. It becomes clearer, grounded, stable. People don't have to figure you out. They can feel you. But when you hesitate, when you override what you know, when you hold yourself back, your aura contracts. It becomes inconsistent, unclear, hard to read. So even if your words are right, your presence isn't landing. And this is why you can say everything perfectly and still not be felt as a leader. Because leadership isn't in the wording. It's in the alignment between what you know and what you express. That's what creates radiance. That's what makes someone magnetic, trustworthy, and followed. Not because they're trying to lead, but because they're not leaving themselves anymore. And this is where everything changes, because the moment you start saying what you know, holding your energy, and not collapsing back, your presence stabilizes, your aura strengthens, and people feel that. not occasionally, consistently. And that's when leadership stops being something you're trying to do and becomes something you naturally are. So now the question becomes, are you ready to actually claim that? Because this is where it becomes a decision. So this is where it stops being about understanding and starts being about choice. Because everything we've just spoken about, you already know. You've felt it. You've seen it. You've experienced the gap between what you know is true and how you are actually showing up. So now the question is simple, not easy, but simple. Are you going to keep hesitating, or are you going to start leading? Because leadership is not something that happens later. It happens the moment you decide. I'm no longer overriding myself. That's it. Not when you feel more confident, not when you've healed everything, not when it feels comfortable. Now. And I want you to fill into this. What would change if you trusted yourself the first time? If you spoke when the truth came up instead of waiting? If you acted on what you knew instead of questioning it? The version of you already exists. She's not something you have to build. She's the version of you that stops delaying, softening, and holding back and starts deciding, speaking, and leading. And yes, that will feel different. It will feel unfamiliar, slightly uncomfortable, exposed at times. But that doesn't mean it's wrong. It means you're no longer shrinking to stay safe. You don't need permission to lead. You need to stop waiting for it. Because the moment you decide, this is who I am now, your energy changes, your presence stabilizes, your reality starts to reorganize. Not slowly, but immediately. Because identity shifts don't happen overnight. They happen in the moments like this. So now let's ground this, because this doesn't stop here. So now you've felt that shift. Let's make sure it doesn't stay as something you only connect to right now. Because this version of you, she's not something you tap into occasionally. She's someone you become through repetition. And that means this has to show up in your everyday moments, not just the big ones. So first, follow your first instinct. This is where it starts. When something comes up, a thought, a truth, something you want to say, your first instinct, that's your truth. But what do you normally do? You pause, you question it, you adjust it. This time, follow it. Speak it, act on it before your mind starts trying to fix it. That's how you rebuild trust with yourself. Second, stop waiting to feel ready. This is the trap. You think, I'll show up when I feel more confident. But confidence comes from showing up before you feel ready. So instead of waiting, you move, you speak, you lead while it still feels new. Third, hold your energy after you express yourself. This is where most people collapse. You say something real and then immediately feel the urge to explain it, soften it, or pull it back. Don't. Stay with it. Let your words land. Let your energy stay where it is, because that's how your presence stabilizes. Fourth, let things shift. This is important. When you stop performing, your dynamics will change. People might respond differently, challenge you, or not meet you in the same way. Let that happen. Because you're no longer here to maintain the old version of yourself. You're here to step into the new one. 5, repeat until it becomes normal. This isn't a one-time decision. It's a practice. Every time you follow your truth, don't override yourself. Stay in your energy. You reinforce, this is who I am now. And eventually, you don't have to think about it. You don't hesitate. You don't second guess. You just show up as someone who trusts themselves, expresses themselves, and leads naturally. That's when it locks in. And this is where we close this out, because now it comes down to one thing. So take a breath with me for a moment, in through the nose and slowly out through the mouth, because this isn't about becoming someone new. It's about no longer ignoring who you already are, what you already know. And you were never meant to stay small. You were never meant to keep questioning yourself. You were never meant to wait until it felt comfortable to lead. That part of you keeps pulling you forward. That's not random. That's not wishful thinking. That's your next level calling you. And it's been patient, but it's not going anywhere. So now the question is, are you going to keep waiting, or are you going to answer it? Because the moment you decide, I'm done hesitating, everything starts to shift. Your energy, your presence, your direction, all of it. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, I can feel this, I know this, but I don't know how to hold it consistently, I have a freebie down in the description box below. It will tell you what your numerology is. whether 7 actually shows up in your chart, whether even if a 3 shows up in your chart, which is the hack number for the 7. We all have 10 energy bodies in our system. So 7 will show up somewhere in your life. So go down and grab that freebie. Find out what your numbers say in your chart. And don't forget to hit subscribe and like this video and drop a fire or heart emoji in the comments. Let me know what landed for you in this video. Because this version of you, she's not waiting anymore. She's leading. Okay, bye for now.